Beast Game Podcast, talking about Venom again. And Matt, what did you think of Venom?
I was pleasantly surprised by the movie. Looking at the trailers, especially the early trailers, you would think that this movie was going to be garbage. I felt the same as well. And then they start updating the trailers, I guess, with better CGI, a little bit more telling as far as what was going to happen. So I was like, okay, seemed like maybe decent at its best. But then when I actually sat down during the movie, it pleasantly surprised. The humor, the way they were able to incorporate the Venom storyline without actually having Spider-Man, which would be very, very hard to pull off. They were actually able to do it. It was a good movie. I found it funny. The action is where it needs to be, although I think there's a lot of people were trying to get an R rating for this movie, saying it would be better rated, but it was not a bad movie. Definitely was not anywhere near the DC spectrum. I had a blast. Definitely watch it again. And as far as Venom compared to the comic book, I think he's not like Wolverine close, Wolverine's last movie, but I'd say it was pretty close. I enjoyed the movie.
All right, I disagree.
That's it.
Yeah, I just disagree with everything that he said. It's not an enjoyable movie.
You didn't laugh once in that movie?
No, it's a superhero comedy. And probably grimaced more than I smirked. So we can talk about spoilers, Matt. And
Let me ask you this, Barry. So which is worse? Ghost Rider, this, or Catwoman, in your opinion?
Going from worst to best. Catwoman, Ghost Rider, and then this movie. I mean, Ghost Rider is some unredeemable crap. I think when Keith and I had spoken about it, it is better than Suicide Squad.
Everything's better than Suicide Squad. But that wasn't a movie.
I know. Venom talking to Tom Hardy and it just really being Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
That what made the movie funny.
Yeah, because on the original podcast, I had compared it to The Mask, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and a vampire movie. The vampire has a urge to feed, and he can't. So Venom wants to bite off heads.
He was hungry. I'd feel the same way. The last part of the movie, probably the last quarter part of the movie, I think that they rushed it a little bit. As far as like, all right, well, they're just going to go ahead and fight, and then they're going to die, and then that's it. Last minute, 2 minutes was predictable. I was like, yeah, I know what really happened. Even though they had that one scene where you thought he died, but he didn't die. So I was like, okay, got it. If you're basing the movie off the previews, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
I'm basing the movie off of what I saw, and what I saw was it's not funny. It's not Deadpool funny or Thor Ragnarok funny.
No, see, Thor Ragnarok funny is like the epitome. I would say it's somewhat close to Deadpool funny.
Really?
I said somewhat close. I didn't say exactly.
It's a hokey version of Venom. I don't expect any superhero movie to be Dark Knight level of seriousness.
No, not at all.
What you get...
I think there were some Marvel elements in it as far as humor, but more of like adult.
I mean, what you get is a mid-2000s superhero movie in 2018. Do you agree, Matt?
No. The elements of comedy seem a little bit more recent. Stuff that you and I would say right now regarding some of the situations, it seemed like it was more recent. How we would naturally react. Stuff that you and I talk about on Hangouts, kind of humor.
About 40 minutes was cut out of the movie. There's not any way to reshape that movie into being a better movie, mainly because there's just things that happen for the sake of the story. That Riz Ahmed's bad, he wants to go to space and colonize space. Symbiotes have to find a suitable host. Tom Hardy's ex-girlfriend is just there just so she can have some screen time. And that whole thing was just worthless. So
she was an integral part of his character development.
It's Iron Man 3 integral being part of it.
It was not Iron Man 3 bad.
It is.
No way.
Hold up, this is better than Iron Man 3?
Yeah, it's better than Iron Man 3.
What?
Iron Man 3 was terrible. Was that movie written during the writer's strike? Someone please help me.
Iron Man 3? No, I think Iron Man 2, yes.
Iron Man 2 is during the writer's strike.
Yeah, Iron Man 3 was horrendous. This is much better than Iron Man 3.
I just don't see it. Yeah, I didn't come out of the movie theater saying, well, F Venom, I hate this movie. I went to the movie theater, saw it, paid money for it, and that was it.
You make it sound robotic.
It is. It's a formulaic movie.
Tom Hardy is at least good in it, right?
Yeah, he was good in it.
The best part about a bad movie.
He was good in it. Not Oscar worthy, but
I remember, man, like, this is the first out of 3, unless they're going to cancel it.
nope. After watching the movie, I can see how eventually, possibly somewhere down the line, they will incorporate Spider-Man. I think Venom would whoop his ass, though. The way the action scenes for Venom.
I mean, Venom is set up to be an anti-hero, so he's not going to whip anybody. If
You're
anything,
saying he wasn't violent?
basically
The way he was tearing into
he's a
these
good
people?
vampire. He's a good vampire. He's like, I only eat criminals.
Vampires don't fight like the way he did.
Did you not see Directly Untold?
The way Venom was portrayed in the movie was like how he was portrayed in the comic books.
My problem with this is that, I mean, Venom's backstory is tied with Spider-Man. I understand the whole him landing on the planet, fate brings them together, but Venom's whole thing was even the look and the shape of the suit is based off of Spider-Man's costume. So,
Yeah.
like, what is
No,
the
I
point
agree.
of that?
And I have the comic book. I agree with you 100%. It's not ideal what we want. Should have been Spider-Man. That was there right next to you. Like, hey, that sucks. How can you not have Spider-Man? When you actually watch the movie the way that they did it, I felt it was okay. It wasn't deplorable like...
They give Venom an enemy, and that's really the difference.
Yeah, Venom had to have a goal. Although the one thing I didn't quite understand, and it was kind of like a sentimental moment, the symbiote species typically aggressive, correct? And they normally take over worlds. And
They
then-
actually changed that backstory. Symbiotes were based off of what the heck was that mess? So they changed the backstory so that the symbiotes were created by this god that was alive back during the dawn of the universe. And he created a symbiote sword to kill celestials. It reproduces and splits off and becomes the symbiote, much like the symbiotes that we have that are out today. They're not designed, or they weren't like world conquerors or anything like that. It was just that it's like one giant prison to hold their god. Them linking up to other species is a method of them to evolve. So they would establish those symbiotic relationships with other species and stuff. They've been slowly yet carefully segmenting away Venom from Spider-Man. It seems to be a mistake because while the character is popular as heck, his whole popularity is kind of based around a suit that bonded with a guy who both had the exact same reasons for hating the same person. And then all the other symbionts on the planet were offsprings of that one suit. They all had the same similar power sets. Instead of web slingers, they're shooting out tendrils of their own substance and stuff. Spider-Man's agility, his move sets, all that stuff, originate from that original template, which is Spider-Man. Just kind of feels off to me. So is this Venom's portrayal better than the one from Spider-Man 3?
Yes. In violence, in temperament, in size.
Spider-Man 3 gets the backstory correct. Or at least
Yeah,
Venom's,
it does.
or Venom's purpose for existing. All right. So, Matt, what score would you give Venom?
I'd give it a 7. I'd watch it again. Solid action flick with a little bit of humor. In my opinion, I can somewhat tell that there's a little bit of a Marvel influence. It wasn't like typical Marvel movies that are outside of the actual universe, where it's like, no. You can tell there's a little bit of influence to it, and I'll be excited to see part 2.
Well, I do disagree that the movie's good, but I can see your point of view. That's really all I can say. It's like, if you like the movie, you like the movie, but to me, it just was a run-of-the-mill comic book movie that hit every beat that a comic book movie over the past couple of years needed to hit, and tried to implement comedy into it.
What's your score?
I give it a 3.5.
Oh, okay. The action scenes, for me, like, what really set it off. I was like, holy shit, he's actually doing what I would think Venom would fucking do. And then they didn't make him small as shit like in the other Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you think the second one would be better?
Well, they already
Depends on the
set
route
up.
that they go.
Yeah, they already set it up. You know where it's going. You don't even really need to watch the movie to understand where the movie's going. The symbiote side of Spider-Man, there's only a handful of people that you can go to. So, you know where it's going.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, that's it. These Game Podcast.